Okay, hello and welcome to this weather update. We have a lot to talk about tonight. It's a little after 10 o'clock, and you can see a clear day across our area for the most part. There were some clouds around the Jersey Shore, but for the rest of us, clear. Really just a beautiful day. We'll look at the high-resolution satellites. You can see that there were some clouds sort of hanging around the Jersey Shore, mostly off the Jersey Shore. They may have been around a little earlier, perhaps. Yeah, earlier this morning, you could see there was some clouds hanging around over the Jersey Shore, but it was clear over Long Island. Looking at some of the observations out there right now, Farmingdale is 58 degrees, dew point is still low at 49, and it only hit 68 degrees at Farmingdale. Dew points were only in the 40s, and let's look at West Hampton. See if it. I'm just curious to see what West Hampton is and what it's gotten down to. So look at that. Look at how cold it is in West Hampton already. 43 degrees. Dew point's 40. This is the Pine Barrens. In the core of the Pine Barrens, it gets cold at night. The conditions are ideal. Very desert-like area. Radiational cooling sets in, and it can get very cold at night there if you have calm to light winds and clear skies and low dew points. So it's probably it could possibly drop into the 30s at West Hampton. Last night it got down to 43, so we're already beating last night. So I'm thinking definitely could you could see that big difference between the Pine Barrens area and once you get outside of the Pine Barrens area, how much warmer it is. Let's go to another Pine Barrens area, which is Toms River, and the airport there, which is also in the Pine Barrens. It has dropped to 46 degrees. And let's see what it hit in Toms River today. Also cool, 68. But you can see they had a lot more clouds around until the afternoon, and then the clouds finally went away. Just a little more moisture coming in over that area. But again, it did drop to 45 last night, so it does get cold there as well at night, because again, it's a desert-like area, and it does get cold at night there. So it's interesting to see the temperature variation here. If we look at the Ventus sky, we'll see if the Ventus sky picks that up at all. Bet you it doesn't, and it doesn't really. No, it doesn't really pick it up at all that it's in the 40s over here. No, not at all. So what we can do is go to Wonderground and see if maybe that'll pick it up. Just curious, because the radiational cooling is a very interesting phenomena, and it occurs especially in the Pine Barrens. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, I can see the 40s right around West Hampton. Everybody else in the low 50s. Middle of Nassau, let's see what we have here. Mid 50s in Mineola. Feels a little warmer than that. Mid 50s. And the end of the city holding on to the heat there in the 60s. Let's look at the dew points and see what we have going on there with that. If they would load. So low dew points, mostly in the upper 40s and low 50s. So that, I guess we got to go to the tropics, because again we have a lot of stuff going on. Remnants of Humberto. Humberto is no longer a hurricane; it's a post-tropical system now. So we're going to look at the satellite. You can still see the circulation's still there, but it's lost its tropical characteristics now completely. It's just a remnant. However, and this is the map here of Humberto, which I'm not even going to go to Humberto right now because we have Hurricane Jerry now. This is the new one, so let's take a look at Hurricane Jerry. And this thing's definitely got some good convection going on. You can definitely see some good convection there in the satellite. Let's go and look at the National Hurricane Center and see what they have for. Actually, still has Humberto as a hurricane. That's interesting because it's supposed to be post-tropical. According to that, they're calling it post-tropical. Humberto to become extra powerful extratropical cyclone tonight. Large swells are affecting the East Coast and Bermuda. So 5 p.m. is located near latitude 38.5 north, longitude 58.7 west. Humberto is racing to the northeast, 24 miles an hour, but it's supposed to slow down a little bit to then go a little more northeast, and then turn back to the more easterly direction. Max sustained wind still 105 miles an hour. That's amazing. Doesn't look like it on the satellite. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 80 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 380 miles. Minimum central pressure is 960 millibars, or 28.35 inches. So that's one storm. But then we have Jerry. And Jerry, let's get the latest public advisory on Jerry here. Yeah, they're investigating Jerry. So it's located at, we'll go over here. The eye of Jerry, of Hurricane Jerry, is located at latitude 17.7 north, longitude 56.5 west. Jerry is moving to the west-northwest near 17 miles an hour. That's pretty fast. A west-northwest to northwest motion, and a decreasing forward speed is expected over the next couple of days. On the forecast track, the center of Jerry will move north of the northern Leeward Islands and pass well north of Puerto Rico. Maximum staying winds are near 90 miles an hour with higher gusts, and it could strengthen in the next day too. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 80 miles. Estimated minimum central pressure 979 millibars, or 28.91 inches. So look at so this is going to be the forecast track of Jerry, and as we saw before, maximum sustained winds are 90 miles an hour, and look at that, it could wind up hitting Bermuda. So Bermuda is going to have to watch for Jerry. We'll have to see what happens. They don't have it becoming a major hurricane, but we'll have to keep our eye on it for sure. And then we're still not done. We have Imelda, and the remnants of Imelda, which is barely a circulation, but it has caused terrible, terrible flooding in East Texas, as you can see here. And that's going to be the biggest risk to this area. So here is what's going on in East Texas. This is an estimated map here. And if you look in the red area around this part of Texas right here, you will see that 41 plus inches have fallen. 41 plus inches of rain in that red area, and then surrounding it you have 30 inches to 20 inches. The flooding is the worst flooding they've ever seen. It's worse than Harvey. It is worse than Harvey. So this is the flash flood emergency that was going on. Here is the radar. It just poured, and this was 42 inches in a day. 42 inches in a day, which is crazy. So if I put in Texas flooding, you will see what's happening here. Look at that. Water over the interstate. This is historic flooding. Tropical depression is just not moving. Again, this is all due to climate change. All this flooding in South Texas. Places like Beaumont, Houston. This is Houston. So this is worse than Harvey. 3-day rainfall totals as high as 25 to 35 inches. That's insanity. Look at this drone footage of the flooding in Beaumont, Texas. So this is a terrible disaster, and another disaster that we're seeing due to the climate crisis that we're in. There's just much more water in the atmosphere. The steering patterns don't move these things around, and this is what can happen. This is just a disaster. Look at this. Look at this video. I'm gonna make it a little larger. Hopefully we can get it a little larger so you can maybe get a better idea of what it looks like here. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Look at that. It's like the end of the world. It's like we're gonna have to build an ark, like Noah had to build. Who knows? I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy what's going on, and I feel so bad for the folks in Texas. We gotta pray for them. Here is a map from the Weather Channel showing again these areas that have gotten hit by this heavy rain, and it's not just a tiny area. It's quite a big area. All these areas of southeast Texas and into part of Louisiana have just dealt with this, and it's just a terrible disaster for that area. So let's take a look at our weather for the weekend. I'm not going to go beyond that because there's just so much to talk about, and we're just going to go and look at that's not what I need to see. We're just going to go and look at the models for the weekend. I'm not going to go past that. There's not going to be any precipitation, so I'm not even going to look at that. Or the main thing we're going to look at is how the temperatures will be changing. On the GFS, you see temperatures will start rising tomorrow. We're in the mid-70s. For Saturday, we get up into the 80s. And Sunday, we are also in the 80s. So mid-80s both days. But the saving grace is that it won't be too humid. So if we look at the dew points for Friday, you will see we're still having dew points in the 40s, so it's still going to be comfortable. Gets up a little higher on Saturday, maybe 50s, but it's still not bad. Sunday, maybe a little higher. Maybe we start seeing a little more humidity and we get more toward the 60s. And if you look at the wind barbs, you'll see Sunday there's more of a sea breeze, but for Saturday, not too much of a sea breeze, and no sea breeze for Friday, just west winds. So let's go and look at the sky conditions that we will be dealing with. So tomorrow we won't have the clear skies that we had. The clear skies we enjoyed Tuesday and Thursday, we won't have tomorrow. There'll probably be some high clouds around. And Saturday, high clouds probably, maybe a little less in the afternoon, and then probably more rolling on Sunday. So tranquil weekend for us. It'll be a little summer-like, though summer is technically over. It doesn't seem to want to go away completely, but at least we won't be dealing with too much humidity. And thank God, not the kind of disaster that they're dealing with in Texas, but that can happen anywhere. We're seeing all these disasters, and it's all due to the climate crisis, and it keeps ramping up. And yet, there's no urgency at the media. There's nobody connects the dots. It's absolutely amazing. Anyway, that concludes this weather update. Take care, and thank you for watching.